Good morning, all. I'm Budge Husky. I'm President and Chief Executive Officer of Coldwell Banker, and I just wanted, before I have the privilege of introducing our next presenter, I wanted to be able to share along, as others have, about how great it's been to be able to participate in this particular program. We all kind of look at sometimes at NAR as being this traditional association that is sometimes slow-moving, et cetera, but I think so oftentimes there are things that are doing that are truly innovative within the space and are leading and positioning us for the future of real estate. I think this is one such program. The REACH program has allowed me and my organization, as far as the ability to meet some amazing entrepreneurs that we have the privilege of working with and testing in terms of the market. And I know it was mentioned in terms of August Locks being an example where we have this not only in a partnership capacity, and this is only one example, but we're actually now working with many of our companies to integrate this into their programs at a local level, both with residential sales, listing kits, property management, et cetera. So we're able to really connect the dots between the concept of something that an innovator has and really applying it to true business today and ultimately making it a success for our people. So I'm very privileged to be here, and I'm also very privileged to introduce our next presenter, which is AssetAvenue. And I think this is really intriguing because we all know there's a trend today regarding crowdsourced funding. And I know in the international space, there are a lot of times individuals that come to the United States who are not able to rely upon traditional lending channels, that have to look at alternative sources for funding. And in this particular case, in the investor space, it's particularly true. And what this gentleman has been able to do with this concept is to be able to apply that to a simple online lending platform that is extremely easy to use and accessed by others. And it's something that's already being able to be used successfully by many of our agents around the country. And so I'm very excited to be able to introduce to you at this time the president and co-founder, David Maturi. David, come on up.
Budge, thank you so much for the introduction. I really appreciate that. Hi, everybody. I'm David Manchuri. I'm the president and co-founder of AssetAvenue. We're an online lending platform for residential investment properties. Let's see. So we all know how great it feels when you land a new client and get them into escrow on their perfect property. It feels something like this. But all too often, we know that things don't turn out as they seem, and you end up feeling frustrated and disappointed. Why? Because 2/3 of you have told us that you have lost one or more deals due to financing. When we spoke to realtors, we asked them to give us some additional information on what they meant, and this is what they told us. Tight lending guidelines, considerable delays, loan fell through just before closing. Many banks do not handle investment properties well. One short sale took 9 months. Almost every day that situation pops up. The deal blew up. The traditional lending model simply doesn't work. We spoke to realtors and found out the 5 major problems they were having with traditional banks and lenders. First, many banks and lenders are using legacy, outdated technology that doesn't serve the needs of the modern borrower, mortgage broker, or agent. This limited technology leads to a paper-heavy, highly inefficient process, which is why it can take a bank 30, 60, sometimes up to 90 days to fund a loan. A lot of realtors were complaining that their client's loan would fall their client's loan would get rejected late in the mortgage process for information that was clearly provided upfront in their mortgage application. Knowing the real-time status of your loan can make all the difference between closing your deal and losing your deal. Sometimes you're simply working with loan officers who don't prioritize service and who don't give you quick responses back to your emails or phone calls. I'm glad we can laugh about that one. And in recent years, the banks have tightened their lending guidelines providing limited flexibility if your client doesn't have a perfect loan file. All of these reasons were our inspiration for building AssetAvenue. We are reinventing the mortgage industry with a technology-first approach, where we are rethinking the entire mortgage process from start to finish for borrowers, mortgage brokers, and agents. So we're initially starting our lending products to focus on your real estate investor clients, who account for over $50 billion a year in residential transactions on a national volume. We believe that the following loan products basically solve the major pain points for investors today, so let's go through them. Our first product is a rehab loan product. These are for your fix and flip investors. We'll finance up to 80% of the purchase and up to 100% of the rehab budget. We'll finance your international investor clients without requiring proof of US citizenship, credit, or income. We have a bridge financing product. These are for your investors who simply need to close a loan quickly. Many times we have clients who are using this bridge financing product to take cash out of an existing investment property that they've amassed some appreciation in to invest in a second property. And in early 2016, we're going to be releasing a rental loan product. This will be a longer-term product for when there's a tenant in place. So these are our commitments to you and your clients. And we've built an online platform that really addresses these. So let's go through that a little bit. Our online website is extremely easy to use. When you refer your clients to our website, we have an online pre-qualification form. It's 17 questions and takes less than 3 minutes to answer. These questions revolve around the borrower's credit, their experience as an investor, and the subject property. And we have an automated online decision engine that determines whether they qualify for a loan with us, all without checking their credit based on them providing factual data to us. Once they get pre-qualified, we deliver a full suite of loan options customized for them, where they can review loan amounts and decide how much leverage they want to take on the property. And when they select the loan that they like, we like to avoid surprises, so we display all of the loan terms, fees, and rates up front so they know exactly what they're getting out of that loan. Once they proceed, they have their customized online dashboard where they get the real-time status of their loan 24/7 without ever having to track a loan officer or having to call us, even though we've got agents standing by during working hours. And the technology that we're building today around the mortgage process is what allows us to fund loans in 10 days or less. We're really excited about the traction we're receiving as a company. Prior to participating with the NAR REACH program, we funded $25 million of loans in our first 9 months as a brand new lender. The second we partnered with the NAR, we started receiving a lot of referrals from agents and mortgage brokers. We funded an additional $45 million in loans in the last 7 months. Let's go through some loans where we've had the agent refer the client to us. Here's a borrower in Santa Monica, Scott, who wanted to buy an investment property in Santa Monica, and he wanted to rehab the home and hold on to it as an investment property. We financed that home in 10 days. This next client, RJ, was with a national leading bank in escrow for 60 days on his loan. The seller finally got fed up and said, "I'm only giving you a couple days to fund on this deal." And we came in and closed his loan in 3 days. It took his existing lender 60 days to reject him and 72 hours for us to fund him. Here's a loan in Northern California on a 4-unit investment property. This client was working with a national bank, 45 days in the process, really didn't feel like the lender was going to come through on the loan, and we ended up closing the loan in 3 days so he could avoid a tax bill on a 1031 exchange. We've worked with agents from some of the largest organizations in the country, and we're really proud of that. And we're growing very quickly. We're backed by some of the leading venture capitalists around the globe, and we've been receiving some recognition for our growth as an online platform. We were recognized by the Real Estate Forum as one of the best in the lender category, and we also got recognized as one of the top 10 lending companies in the country by CB Insights, a leading technology research firm. We want to finance every residential investment property in the country. So next time, instead of allowing your client to go to a traditional bank or lender and risk the financing, where you know you'll end up frustrated and disappointed, come to AssetAvenue, refer your client over. We'll make sure that we surpass their expectations, give them the service that they deserve, and we'll make sure you end up closing escrow feeling like this. Come visit us at booth 1245. We'd love to earn your trust in business when you're looking to finance your next investor client. And come to our booth and find out how you can win a brand new Apple Watch. Thank you so much. So I'm happy to answer any questions. Yeah, go ahead.
So I just want to get a chance. If someone goes online, they complete information, you don't do a credit check, and yet you approve them. That reminds me of 2005.
Say the last statement.
I said pretty much you're saying go online, the investor would go ahead and complete the information required without a credit check,
Mm-hmm.
and then you pretty much do pre-qualification. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Does a credit check and proof of income and funds happen at a later time?
Yeah, so we take in information assuming that it's true because we want to make it as non-invasive as possible up front. And we end up checking their credit afterwards because we don't want to ding somebody's credit if we don't have to.
And how long does that take?
In terms of the processing, so from start to finish, we can fund a loan in 10 days or less, as you've seen. Many times clients have 2, 3, 4 weeks to close, so we'll work with their timeline. But really, a lot of real estate investors have a short funding fuse because they're trying to be competitive in the market, so they'll provide a shorter escrow period in their offer. Yes? Yeah, so we have a loan product that specifically caters to international clients, where, like I said earlier, we don't require proof of U.S. citizenship or income. Many times they'll have somebody locally who will contact us on their behalf. It could be a mortgage broker, so we do work with a lot of mortgage brokers who finance international clients. Yes?
So most investors at 8.9%, they're going to kind of go away from that at first, but is there a prepayment penalty? Because if on a rehab loan, they're going to probably want to refinance it after rehab, or is that all this is going to be going for a 30-year situation?
Yeah, so how many people here have actually worked with a private lender before? Okay, so I'm glad you brought that up. So let's talk about the fees and rates really quickly in the space. A lot of private money lenders will charge 3 to 6 points up front for what's called a hard money loan, and rates can go up to 15, 16%. Our rates are standardized because we're trying to become a national lender, not just a local lender. So our rates are 9 to 12%, and we charge 2 points to the borrower no matter what up front. And if the borrower is represented by a mortgage broker, we drop it down to 1 point. So our business is really driven by volume, and we're not there to try to make every buck we can on every deal. There's a 90-day prepayment penalty, which means that they have to hold the loan for 90 days. If they pay prior to 90 days, they pay the interest for the full 90. Our average loan is held for anywhere between 6 to 9 months. Last question, yeah.
With the foreign nationals, do you have a title company that will provide title insurance?
Yeah, we work with the major title companies across the country. We finance a number of international clients, so we have the entire system in place, and we're a full-service mortgage company. So we do everything from originations, underwriting, and servicing all in-house. All right, guys, thank you so much.